ScoobTober is back and we have To Switch a Witch, an episode that aired under the Where Are You banner during its third season. It's Halloween night in Salim and we see an old caretaker digging graves in a cemetery before suddenly being interrupted by a witch in a purple robe and green wig. Upon seeing this, the caretaker runs off, screaming that she's back, running towards a house belonging to one of the town's leaders, Squire Marley, claiming it's Melissa Wilcox, risen from the grave to seek revenge after being burned at the stake 200 years ago. The gang arrive in the town to see an old friend, Arlene Wilcox, who has just inherited her family house. When they arrive, they see the Squire Marley nailing a witch sign to a tree. He warns them to leave, saying that Arlene has been possessed by the Witch of Salim. Gang ignore the warnings and go inside Arlene's house to find what's going on. She explains that the caretaker saw the witch and claims that she looks exactly like Arlene, knowing that she is a direct descendant of Melissa Wilcox. After being shown to their rooms, Shaggy dressed like a peasant and Scooby dressed as a witch for Halloween looks very, very similar to Wilcox. It is here that they first encounter the witch, who appears in one of their rooms. But before they can call for help, the witch disappears in a cloud of green smoke. Upon hearing the calls for help, Fred, Daphne and Velma and Arlene rush upstairs to find Shaggy and Scooby terrified. They find a strange liquid on the ground that's eating the carpet before they head towards the window, seeing a witch running towards the graveyard. Pursuing her on foot, the gang leave Arlene at the house alone. Arriving at the graveyard, they see a witch run to her grave before disappearing in the cloud of smoke. Looking behind her grave, Velma finds a piece of hot wire, a possible clue for this mystery. They are warned once again, but this time by Gar Mooney, the caretaker. So instead of listening, they head to the Witchcraft Museum to look through some old records for any leads into the Wilcox family tree, and discover that Arlene's name is marked out and replaced with the word Gemini. Making a joke of the situation, Shaggy suggests that it's probably a birth sign, but Velma corrects him and tells him that she can't be a Gemini because Geminis are born in the spring and Arlene's birthday is in October. So the gang depart and decide to split up, with Fred, Daphne and Velma going back to Arlene's house, and with Shaggy and Scooby going trick-or-treating. While trick-or-treating, Scooby is mistaken for Melissa Wilcox and is taken by Squire Marley and the town mob back to the Witchcraft Museum for an old-fashioned confession involving dunking him underwater repeatedly. While that's happening, Fred, Daphne and Velma find Wilcox's house deserted and head to the graveyard, where they find Arlene. Arlene explains she was escaping the mob after being warned by Gar Mooney. Shaggy manages to escape the confession, meeting up with the rest of the gang, who are all itching to head back to the museum to rescue Scooby. But instead, they're pursued by the mob who think they're in league with the witch. So the gang head back to the graveyard to forge a plan to trap the witch, digging a hole and using Shaggy and Scooby as bait to lure the witch. But as unexpected, it fails as they foil their plan. But by miracle, the witch manages to fall into another hole, trapping herself. Unmasking the witch, we discover that it's Arlene's twin sister, whom Arlene herself wasn't aware she existed. Fred and Velma explain that they realised that she had a twin when the gang found the words Gemini in the family records, as Gemini means twin. Her plan was to scare Arlene, making her leave town, which in return allowed her to claim their inheritance and the estate. It's also revealed that Gar Moon has been assisting her. The wire Velma found behind the grave was built by Mooney, which made the witch glow, and the ash on the carpet in Arlene's home came from the battery built up in the wiring. With the mystery solved, the unnamed sister and Gar are taken away to jail. And so we end the episode off with Marlene thanking Shaggy and Scooby, and we also see an unwell Scooby Doo eating chicken soup. This was due to being dunked in the water at the confession session. And that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching ScoobTober and hope you enjoyed yourselves. Remember to hit that subscribe button and join me tomorrow for another tale.